Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. I caught my ex-wife cheating when I tried to surprise her. Need support. It was Labor Day weekend in 2021. My then wife was in TX for training in the Air Force. We both were in. We lived in Ohio at the time. During her training, she would call the kids, 7 and 3 at the time, and me every day and stay on the phone for a long time just talking about anything. Then suddenly she started talking less and less. Still daily, but only 2 minutes if that. She would say that she had to study for tests. Then she started missing days completely. After the 3rd time, I called her later and asked what was going on. She was utterly wasted, extremely drunk on the phone. I got mad and hung up. The next day, she says she needs space. Like I'm the bad guy here? We barely talked for 2 weeks after that. To backtrack a bit, we married when I was 25. She was 23. Dating for 4 years before that. When we were dating, she went to visit her friend in CA. Her friend married a Marine and moved there. Well, during that time, she was also going to meet a guy she had never met. Someone her friend wanted to set her up with. So for the entire 2 weeks, she was cheating on me. So we broke up for about a year. I connected back with her again, and we got back together. About 2 years later, I got married. During our marriage, she completely changed. She denied me intimacy and affection. When she rejected me, I would naturally get upset. I would say mean things to remind her of what she did because I knew it would hurt her. Fast forward, we had 2 children. Our marriage went on with hardly any intimacy or affection from her. I would ask her to kiss me. After our 2nd child, we were pretty much roommates. I was extremely depressed, and it was difficult to get out of bed and do anything. I realized I wasn't the father I wanted to be, not the husband, and sought mental health. So back to the time after we started to stop talking after our argument. I thought the spark had been missing in our relationship, and I blamed myself for my depression and anxiety. So I got a babysitter for the long weekend. She had mentioned that she wanted to get away and go camping by herself. So I took it as an opportunity to surprise her so we could spend the weekend alone, just trying to get our love back to what it was before marriage. I went to her hotel on base and talked to the hotel staff beforehand to let them know I wanted to surprise her. They were okay with it after I showed proof of who I was. I got an extra key card, went into her room before she returned from training, and was going to surprise her when she came in. When I got into her room, I saw a large box of condoms on her nightstand, many empty alcohol bottles in the trash, and her counters. I also saw her wedding ring in her bathroom on the counter as if the ring was stored there. I was devastated and in shock at what I saw. I hid in the closet, and when she arrived, I jumped out and said surprise. I just was still in disbelief that this was happening. Her response was, "You're not supposed to be here." Then she locked herself in the bathroom. She texted a school friend, a girl, to come. The friend rushed to her room as if it seemed like I was hurting her. To be clear, I had never raised a hand or even got close to it. Her friend left, and she came out of the bathroom. I demanded an explanation. All she could say was, "I'm sorry." It wasn't in an apologetic way, more of an "I'm sorry you had to find out this way." I left immediately, took a car to the airport, and bought the first ticket home. I could only do the bare minimum for my kids the entire weekend because I was crushed. Monday rolled around, I called, and she said she wanted a divorce. I was just in disbelief and agreed without a discussion. The only thing I could manage to get out was, "I'm taking the kids and moving back home." I was medically retiring from the military before she would return from training. Her response was, "Okay, can you take the dogs too?" After we split and I moved back, I did some digging. I checked our bank account and saw thousands of dollars at bars and other places being spent by her during the time she was in training while telling us she was studying. I also checked the phone records. I couldn't see the messages, but I could see one number that kept coming up all day, every day, back and forth. That ended up being the guy she was cheating on me with, no surprise. We finalized our divorce in February of this year without fighting. Since then, she has skipped her time with her kids twice to go on mini vacations with this guy. He lives in DC, 7 hours away from her. We live in Mo, 6 hours from her. In our divorce agreement, she can come to see the kids whenever she wants during the week if she clears it with me first. She just did that for the first time 2 weeks ago. Since February, that is the only time she has done that. When she calls the kids, and they see she is in the car or at a place they don't recognize, they ask her where she is. She admits she is with her new BF, she drives or flies to see him instead of the kids. Last Thursday, she called me and said she messed up, missed the kids and me, and wanted to get back together. I tell her that she has to agree to go through her therapy and marriage counseling. It sounded like things were going to get better. 2 days later, she sent me a message telling me that she wasn't going to do any of that. This guy makes her so happy, and she is now engaged to this guy. My life was crushed again. The entire year I have constantly been crying and lying in bed. Thank God for my family because I couldn't do this without them. I just feel so worthless. I can't connect with anyone I try and date because I am numb now and have commitment issues. I can't find a job, and I bought a house that I now have tapped into my savings to start paying for. I constantly have morbid thoughts of being better off dead. Then I hate myself more for thinking that because I have 2 amazing kids to care for. I feel like nothing can go right, and I'm going to lose my kids, my house, and eventually myself. I have been talking to a therapist, but IDK if I feel any different. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm not sure what I'm looking for here, but I thought maybe if I got my story out there, it would have some kind of relief. I think your main problem is that you didn't accept that it's over and you kept that door open. Mate, you need to put an end to this mess, and also you need to protect your kids from her. Mate, no mother is better than a mother like that. She abandoned her kids for a guy. And this text about missing you and the kids is just because the other guy did something. Mate, get a lawyer, get complete full custody, and if you can then prevent her from getting in contact with the kids, it's better for your kids than to be the subject of this constant hope then disappointment cycle for years, and get child support to pay for the house. Mate, you need to take control of your life. Go talk to a lawyer, get your house cleaned, take a shower, prepare good healthy meals for you and your kids, go to the gym and try to put some order in your life. This is the real answer here. Yes, the ex was a piece of work, but Op casually walked into his own execution. Many red flags, rug sweeping, and even a huge preview of what it would be like. STBXW saw a guy that would be easy to con into a loving husband while she played a bad wife. She was even in the armed forces, away from the family. You are getting a lot of advice, so I will only add on what I do not see that needs to be pointed out or asked. Are STBXW and AP in the military? I know your wife is, but is also the AP. You need to report them as the betrayal has been long and deep. Plus clearly, other military friends were covering for them too. You do not owe them anything, and letting them get away with it is a bad example for the service and to your family. There are consequences in life. What your ex is doing is standard cheaters / cuckolding, whitewashing, brainwashing, replacement steps to replace you original spouse and family original with AP. The AP, complicit friends, and even your ex are putting as much distance between you and your ex as they can, so the living habit and comfort with AP is the norm and expected comfort. This is literally the requirement of North Carolina, but going towards the affair and AP's favor. They are also trying to create their BS reality bubble, so they do have to face shame, guilt, or consequences of their actions. You need to grey rock, and any contact with ex reminds her what a deceiver she is. You need to adjust or settle your finances, if your pension is not covering your new life. Find work no matter how trivial or mundane. Forcing yourself to function again instead of wallowing is best. You wallow in limbo long enough and it is your acceptable norm. Whether it is revenge or not, pushing forward for a new life is best for you and family. I talked to her first sergeant. He said that it would just be hearsay since I only found the box and never caught them in the act. I think it's a load of crap. I just found a job last week. It's been a rough road, the pay sucks for being in the IT industry. Hopefully, I'll stick it out to get the experience I need to find a better paying job. Today, I took my boys to a pumpkin patch and am trying to live. Glad you got the work part sorted. The pay might suck, but with experience and progress, it will get better. A lot better. You have to keep pushing forward, time will not heal all on its own. It is the effort you put into it during that time that really matters. From the military angle, that first sergeant is incompetent or is covering for them. That hotel situation was beyond hearsay. The box, witnesses from the friend she called, hotel staffers that must have looked more like the cleaners that cleaned the room and changed the sheets. That friend witness, should you officially complain, is important because whether he or she tells the truth, it will reveal how much cover the military has provided her. Plus he or she will be in trouble if they are found to be lying to military investigators. Should task a private investigator and make an official complaint and be prepared to file on that sergeant if he still drags his feet because he received training on this matter, what to look out for and when to intervene. This also reflects badly on him too in terms to promotion as it happens on his watch, and if, as I suspect from your post, it been long and extensive. He is indirectly in the hot seat too. Your ex/STBXW. Keep the North Carolina and Grey Rock. It is beyond hopeful now. She has that reverse North Carolina/Grey Rock on you already. It is why she was so quick to reverse course after crying and saying she made a mistake. She has friends, in real life and work, helping her, including AP. If you try to talk to her, you will be dealing with her, guilt conscious only, AP, and all the other military supporters of this affair. All in the background or face to face because they support and coach her on what to say and do. It is the equivalent of extracting someone from a cult. That is why making WW-Enforce North Carolina is so important in MC. I'm sorry for bringing this up, but I believe the truth is best because my next point will be more difficult, but you need to be ready. The next thing you need to be ready for is parental alienation. I have made many comments on this in previous posts, here are two. In your case, I hope they leave your kids alone like they are now while they try to solidify their reality bubble/relationship. But it has also been known that once they are fully settled, the co-parenting war, the cheaters will start that second war because they are selfish. You need to be prepared to see the red flags and, of course, have support groups ready to intervene. Please do your own research here. All the best. C. IDK what STBXW means. You are right. I did look past a lot. I came from divorced parents and never wanted my kids to experience it. I have physical custody. I can't afford a lawyer. She only sees them every other weekend. They see her for what she is, and it sucks. They are too young to see this. But they also still see her as mom. I found a job last week and took my kids to a pumpkin patch today. I'm trying. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.